Sheriff Nails.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry, Ms. Minter, what a very story. Stephanie, the numerous pictures we saw, beautiful. I apologize for the individuals that have held onto these irresponsible policies, costing the lives of many, many innocent Americans. So I apologize. Mr. Kennedy, I appreciate your passion. You're right on target. Mr. Dascano, well, Ms. Sheriff Kincaid, thank you for your service. Mr. Dascano, I consider you a disgrace. I yield the rest of my balance of my time to my colleague, Mr. Klein.
I thank the gentleman, and I thank the chairman for allowing me to sit on this panel today. I represent the vast majority of Virginia citizens who stand with you, Ms. Minter, and who are so sorry for the tragedy that occurred. And our prayers are with you and with your daughter, who is in heaven looking down on this right now. And, you know, I heard your apology, Mr. Dascano. I think the public would like to hear your resignation. Let me ask you, when Abdul Jala is released, will you honor an ICE detainer?
Sir, my office is a prosecuting office. We don't receive ICE detainers. That's not our business.
Will you, Sheriff Kincaid, will you honor the ICE detainer?
Well, thank you for that question. And I would certainly hope that this case would be prosecuted and that justice would be served. Certainly, when it comes to Mr. Jala, there hasn't been ICE detainers with the exception of one time in 2018, which we turned him over to ICE, and then the second time, which we had to release him to a facility. Each other time he's been in my custody, there's been no detainers.
If one comes, will you honor it?
As long as I have the authority to do so, and ICE knows what our policy is.
Then yes?
If I'm given a judicial warrant, yes.
That's different.
Well, it's what gives me the authority to detain somebody when I receive a court order from a judge mandating someone's release. I would also hope that ICE would know when Mr. Jala is getting released so that they would be able to come and pick him up. And we do plan, should he get convicted, we do plan on taking him, driving him down to the Department of Corrections.
All right. Well, Mr. Dascano, your policy tells prosecutors to give lighter treatment to defendants based on their immigration status. Isn't that just discrimination with a sympathetic face? And why are you protecting criminal illegal aliens more than the people of Fairfax County, the citizens?
Well, first of all, sir, I think there's two things wrong with it in the question that you asked me. We're not protecting undocumented individuals. As a matter of fact, we prosecute people who commit crimes in Fairfax County regardless of their status. So the idea that we don't do that is simply wrong. Our policies simply maintain that our role is to prosecute Virginia crime. That's what we do. ICE's role is to do federal civil immigration enforcement.
Mr. Omniarez, you disagree with that?
Fundamentally, he has a written policy to that effect. He is conflating two different issues. He is simply saying, well, I prosecute all crimes. At the same time, he has a written policy saying that illegal immigrants are going to be treated and given preferential treatment differently from American citizens. On one hand, he sits in front of this committee and says, we don't follow sanctuary policies. At the same time, he openly admits he conducts himself in a manner in which he does not cooperate federal immigration authorities. That's the very definition of sanctuary policies. No, I fundamentally disagree with his assessment. There are 95 counties in Virginia, Congressman. Only one county with one prosecutor has a written policy saying we're going to treat illegal immigrants differently than American citizens. It is Mr. Dascano to my left, period, full stop.
Well, I know that when ICE does work with localities, the system can work. I worked in the Harrisonburg, Rockingham Commonwealth's Attorney's Office. They had a 287G agreement with ICE, and when individuals who were prosecuted, who were here illegally, eventually served their sentences, they were met by ICE. They were retrieved by ICE and returned to their countries of origin. The people of Rockingham and Harrisonburg benefited from that policy because the streets were safer, and people who committed crimes were not returned to the communities that they threatened prior to their arrest. So, the people who are here in from Fairfax stand and answer the ranking member's question about, well, I've run out of time, so I hope I can get some more time because people who are working hard in Fairfax County deserve to not just feel safe, as the ranking member indicated, but actually are safe.
The gentleman's time has expired. Mr. Biggs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And first, I thank specifically Ms. Minter for being here today. It takes a great deal of courage, and I appreciate your being here. I thought it was an interesting thing when we heard that Americans care about their microeconomy. But you know what they really care about? Because if you have money and you're unsafe, it's like you don't have money. You need to be safe. That's what Americans really care about. Number one, you need to be safe. Americans want to be safe. And I thought it was interesting, too, when the ranking member said, hey, stand up here if in the gallery, if you support immigrants so that they're able to make 911 calls. I thought that was interesting. Everybody stood up, and then a few sat down. But you know who can't stand up today? You know who's not here today? The victims of the crimes of those individuals that were released into the community, knowing that they had a propensity to commit these types of crimes. They're not here to answer for themselves. That's why we have, ostensibly, that's why you have the police agencies. So I thought I would tell you, who's not here? Ms. Minter's wonderful daughter, Stephanie. She's not here because Abdul Jala was released. The victim of Malden Annabel Guzman, who was killed, is not here. The victim of Marvin Fernando Morales Ortiz is not here. He's killed. He's killed, released by these individuals. Wilmer Osmani Ramos Giron, the victim of his strangulation, is not here. The victim of Jorge Armando Melendez Gonzalez, charged 19 times violent and firearm-related offenses, not here. The victims cannot be here. The victim of Hiram Bacadeno Rodriguez. The judge found what Mr. Dascano's office's plea agreement was so offensive, they rejected them. Then a second judge rejected the plea offer. Victims there, they're not here today. Dennis Humberto Navarrete Romero, again. And we could go on, and we could name these victims who are not here because of the policies of this Fairfax County office. That I'm going to yield 2 minutes, the last 2 minutes, to my friend from Virginia, Mr. Klein.
Thank the gentleman for yielding. I want to get back to this idea that Fairfax is somehow a standout for keeping crime low. In fact, they're ranked number 3 nationally by release volume out of sanctuary strongholds across the country that routinely disregard detention requests from ICE. So behind Santa Clara County's main pretrial holding facility in California and Chicago's Cook County Jail in Illinois, the number of releases is 3rd nationally. It's actually an embarrassment. From October 2022 to February 2025, the Fairfax County Adult Detention Center freed more than 1,000 deportable illegal immigrants from lockup in direct defiance of over 1,150 detainers lodged by ICE. The people who the ranking member want to feel safe in Fairfax without worrying about whether they're actually safe are scared to walk home, are scared to take the bus to work, or if they're staying in a part of Fairfax that is not the best part of Fairfax, that they're going to encounter a criminal that is on release from the Fairfax County Jail. And to Mr. Beer, Congress does have limited powers, but we do have the power of the purse. And it becomes increasingly clear that for those jurisdictions that are happy to take federal tax dollars when it comes to COPS grants, and I'm a supporter of COPS grants, but when those jurisdictions are not actually implementing policies that create safe communities, that make maybe people feel safe, because you talk a lot about feeling safe, but are you actually safe in your community? In Fairfax, arguably no. I would say they're not. So making those COPS dollars contingent on 287G agreements is very legal, is very possible. You can shake your head.
No, it's definitely not.
And I didn't ask you a question, and I didn't ask you a question. So it is quite legal, and the bill that I've introduced would do just that.
Gentleman's time has expired.